like that. I noticed that. I went back and watched some the other day, and I was like, I start the show basically the same way every time, and I don't even try to do it.
That's okay. It's not like I'm paying attention to anything you say, anyways.
Right? Yeah, I know. I mean, I'm the only one watching these shows.
I watch some of them
No,
when I
you
have
don't. You
time.
listen. You listen to them on your little iPad or iPhone or whatever the hell it is.
I watch the shorts. God damn it.
Okay. Well, yeah, the shorts. The shorts are very popular. I can only be digested in 1 minute increments.
Hey, if anyone's gonna digest you, I'm proud that it's me, Dennis.
I'm gonna crack my beer open.
That's fine.
You drinking anything tonight?
I got Mountain Dew Spark. I'm trying not to drink so much during the week, so I have more for the weekend.
Sure. Oh, well, yeah, yeah. The Mountain Dew Spark is that a new flavor?
It's been around for I don't know, probably a year. Raspberry lemonade.
Oh God, raspberry.
Oh, it is my favorite. I
Oh,
love
boy.
it.
I'm not a raspberry. I'm not a raspberry guy. I'm gonna back up a little bit because I don't like being this close to the camera. All right. I shaved. I trimmed the beard today.
Ooh, special occasion.
Yeah. The other day, my kid, I gave her a hug and she got a bunch of beard in her face, and she said, "Would you please, Dad? Would you please trim it?" And I was like, "All right, fair enough."
They're still at the age where they want to hug Dad, so you got to shave the beard and cherish it, dude. Trust me, mine's becoming almost 13, so it's like pulling teeth to get her to hang out with me.
Yeah.
So.
This one is 7. She doesn't. She's not a hugger or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
So when you do get a hug, it's a surprise. And my other daughter, she's turning she'll be 10 in a month, and getting a hug from her, I stopped trying a long time ago.
Yeah.
But that's what happens.
Hey, I'm just happy if I get a fucking acknowledgement. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When I come in the house, hello, hello, nothing. 5 minutes later, I'll take away your phone. Oh, hi, Dad. Yeah.
What do you want?
Exactly. Yep.
All right. So I thought we'd start the show off today talking about Sid Vicious, since he passed away. Was it 2 days ago now?
Yeah, it was Monday.
Monday. Yeah. I didn't realize you were a big fan. You and I are so much alike. It's crazy. But Sid was one of my favorites growing up.
Mm-hmm.
I always rooted for the bad guys. And I think we've talked about this in the past, but growing up, I was a big professional wrestling fan, and I was never a Hulk Hogan guy. I hated him from day.
Said that. Yep.
I hated him from day one, and I was never really a big WWE guy. I was always more of a WCW and NWA guy, and the four horsemen were my group.
Yeah.
The
because you were a Barry Windham guy, right?
Yeah, the four horsemen group with Barry Windham was my favorite version. But Sid was in the version with Barry as well. I thought that Sid had replaced Barry, but it wasn't. He didn't replace Barry. I'm thinking he replaced maybe Tully Blanchard when Blanchard. I don't know. Maybe he wasn't even a full-fledged member. He was just an associate, like they had sometimes in the Horsemen. But
I don't know. I've seen some videos where Flair's got the group together, and then Sid walks in, and from off camera, and he's got the suit and tie.
Yeah.
Remember they made the Horsemen
suit and ties. He was in a suit and tie. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't remember that, but okay. Yeah, so he passed away. I think he was 63 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, he had been battling with cancer, but I didn't know that. I hadn't heard anything about that.
Yeah, they didn't publicly reveal it. He kept it to just family and close friends, from what I've read.
So it was never disclosed. Which right. I think that's probably the best way to do it, because you don't want that news out there, I guess.
Right.
So yeah, I did a little video about it, but I remember I don't remember the year, but I was probably 6th grade when he was doing his WCW run, where he was putting people on stretchers and then pushing them off of the ramp, and that's just one of my favorite memories growing up as a professional wrestling fan.
Yeah, they brought that to WWF and had him do that for a while, because I was never the WCW guy. I was only WWF. My dad watched. I kind of watched it like maybe a year or so before NWO happened. I watched it when it was on TBS, Saturday night 6:05, that type of stuff. But I was never into. I was never a WCW guy. My dad was because he was NWA and all that stuff. So I never saw Sid Vicious. I remember Sid Justice.
Okay.
And he was the special referee for Hogan and Warrior versus Slaughter and General Adnan. You know, when they did the match made in hell. You know, the night the Warrior got fired, and Sid came out. You know, he was a baby face.
Yeah.
He did the Hogan stuff, and I remember when he turned heel, and he had fucking Harvey Wimpleman with him, and that's when he started putting the guys on the stretchers and pushing it type of thing, pushing them down the aisle, and they would fucking fall off.
Okay.
So I was a WWF Sid guy, and I hated him. I was a kid. I loved the good guys as a kid, but once I got into high school, I realized the bad guys are cooler.
Really, yeah, we're actually the cool
like
guys.
when he was fighting Hogan, I fucking hated him then. I didn't watch it when he went to WCW afterwards, but I liked him when he came back in like '96. Around the times when Shawn was still champion, they brought him in like to replace Warrior. Warrior just got in fucking fire. They replaced him in like a 6-man with Ahmed Johnson and Camp Cornette. I literally just shared Sid's reveal, and Jim Cornette gets the bug eyes and shit his pants type of thing.
Yeah.
And I liked him then, and honestly, I liked him when he finally got that title shot at Madison Square Garden in Survivor Series. I loved it when he turned heel. When he took that camera and he smacked Jose Lothario in the chest with it, he conked Shawn Michaels over the head with it and pinned him. That's what made me a real big Sid fan. I liked him, like I said, when he was the babyface Sid, I liked him. But there's something about heel Sid. You know what I mean? He was never the best wrestler. He was. I don't want to say awful, but he wasn't a good wrestler. But there was something about his aura. You know what I mean? He wasn't a good wrestler. He fucked up promos all the time, especially when they were live. But there was something about him that brought you to him. You know what I mean? Even as a bad guy, kids still did the fist bumps and stuff like that because he was just fucking cool.
Yeah, well, and they were scared that if they didn't fist bump him, he'd kill him.
Yeah.
But I definitely understand what you're saying because like he wasn't good on the mic. And that's why they put him with the Horsemen, or always put him with someone.
He could be sometimes.
And he wasn't. He was just a brawler. He didn't really have a move set per se.
Big boot, choke slam, power bomb. That's it.
Yeah, and that's all he needed because he had the look.
Oh yeah,
that was his aura. Was the look. He knew how to look like a badass motherfucker.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You're immediately scared of him, whereas the Undertaker had to be, or Mark Callis had to become the Undertaker for him to have any kind of aura because he wrestled before the Undertaker. Mm-hmm. He had Big Red or something.
He was like the Punisher, Mean Mark Callis, a bunch of other bullshit things.
He had no aura whatsoever.
Yeah, no one
in fact, he looked like a dipshit.
Yeah,
honestly,
he did.
He looked like a dipshit with his hair,
buzz cut red hair, and like his one fingerless glove that he did the heart punch.
The heart punch was a cool finisher.
It was scary.
It was so much different than everything else that you'd seen. Like it wasn't a DDT, it wasn't a figure 4 leg lock. It was like he's stopping your fucking heart.
Yeah, yeah.
So I really did like that. I wish it would have gone to someone like Sid instead.
Oh yeah,
honestly. Yeah. But so Undertaker had no fucking aura. They had to put a gimmick on him. Sid needed no gimmick. And I think when he moved to WWF and they gave him Sid Justice and Psycho Sid, it pissed me off because Sid Vicious didn't need that. Mm-hmm. He didn't need to have some stupid-ass WWF name. It annoyed me.
But I liked it. And then when he was in like the dying days of WCW, he was teaming up with Macho Man and going against Goldberg, and feuding with Nash and Hall. They gave him like nothing to do, but I still watched him because he was so cool. And then he pretty much, I guess you would say, end his career. You know, he did like a handful of ECW shows. He showed up, threw a fucker through a table, chokeslammed and powerbomb him, and then
swore a whole lot,
and then left. And then what was cool is I remember, I think I shared it. If you remember Heath Slater was doing this whole making fun of all the legends, and someone would come down and beat him up. Well, then on like the 1000th anniversary or episode of Raw, it was great because Heath said he's the ruler of this world, and then you hear the psycho music,
Yeah.
and then
Yep.
Sid still looking like a motherfucker, just came down and talked some shit, and
He
this
was
was
probably
after
about
he
40.
broke his. This was
Was
after
that
he
like?
broke his ankle.
Oh
so,
yeah. A couple years replaced from that, I believe.
Yeah.
I didn't know because after he passed away, I went to YouTube immediately and started watching old matches and old footage, and I didn't realize that he was in WWF for a spell during the peak of Stone Cold Steve Austin's run. He had a match against Austin on Raw, and then he teamed up with Austin and a couple other guys.
He was because he let's see, he came in around 90, late 96, early 97, something like that. He beat Shawn for the belt at Survivor Series. Shawn won it back at Royal Rumble. He stayed there because that's when Austin is starting to really rise up. He's feuding with Brett and all this and that. And I remember that, yes, he was there when Austin was rising, because thanks to Austin, that's how Sid won his second title. It was like a cage match versus Bret Hart. Austin snuck in somehow, clipped Bret's knee. Sid was able to do the powerbomb, and that was that epic, Bret gets on the mic and shoves McMahon, if you've ever seen that clip, and says, this is bullshit type of thing. So he was still there for quite some time, for like maybe another year or so. I think he might have lost the belt to Shawn again or something. I don't remember.
I don't know.
No, he lost the belt. He lost the belt to Undertaker, WrestleMania 13.
Oh, okay. I don't know if it's just old age. For some reason, I don't remember that him being in that era of WWF. So it's, I think I'm gonna go back and watch some old Raws.
They didn't give him much to do. Like after he lost the belt to Taker, like he was feuding with Vader over whose power bomb was better, and bullshit like that. I mean, he was just kind of hanging around. I'm sure he was just waiting for the next softball season type of thing.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, what was cool is,
and I think that's what he and McMahon had a very tenuous relationship, really kind of a love-hate relationship. And I think a lot of it was Vince knew he couldn't really depend on Sid, because once the softball season started, he's gone. He's gonna no-show you. You book him, he's gonna no-show. Yeah. So I think a lot of that is why I said in the other video and online, Sid's my biggest what if. If he had been dedicated to the business, and I'm not saying that to put any slight on him.
He wasn't. Yeah, he wasn't.
He just wasn't fully committed to the business. He did it because he was good at it. But when something else was taking his, something else that he was interested in, I'm gonna take my money. I'm gonna go for a little bit. And he'll hire me back because I'm a badass.
Yeah. I'll akin him to Lex Luger. You know what I mean? They did it for the money. They did it for the fame and the fun stuff. But their hearts weren't in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Lex really never gave that idea that I love this business. If he could have found a different way, like when Vince started the WBF, Lex was one of the first people to join in on that. And I think maybe he thought, this is my way to get out of here.
Because that's what everyone said. The reason why they gave him the narcissist gimmick, it was a rib. Because Lex was always, like, even Sting would say, Lex is always in the fucking mirror in the locker room, checking his muscles, flexing in front of himself. So they gave him the narcissist gimmick as a rib on him. And he was just, he wanted to bodybuild, and that's it. But he made the money. He was able to provide for his family. He just didn't really give a shit. Everything. He was there he was there with his buddy Sting all the time. You know what I mean? He was there to party with the Road Warriors type of thing. Yeah. But other than that, he just really didn't give a shit.
Yeah. Besides Paul Roma, he's, to me, one of the second worst horseman of all time. And I know a lot of people are going to be like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" But that's my opinion.
Well, see, the thing is, I only know. I mean, I knew Roma was a horseman, but I only really know Roma from Power and Glory when they teamed him up with Hercules, and he didn't do jack shit. He was there to get the pin, and that was it. You know?
I don't know who was booking WCW at the time when they put him in there, but man, that was you talk about someone not fitting into a group. That's a perfect example.
And then one thing about Sid is, like, his aura, for me, once I got internet, you know what I mean, grew and grew, because that's when I found out about the scissor incident.
Yeah.
Orange stabbed him. I saw a shoot interview with Sid. If you look closely on the camera, he's got holes in his cheeks.
Yeah.
Apparently Sid told the whole story. I don't remember what caused the fight. I think, I think according to Sid, Arn was just basically drunk and shit talking Sid, and Sid didn't want to hear it.
Yeah.
And then he got tired of hearing it, and then he went over to Arn's, hotel room, knocked on the door, and that's when he got stabbed like right away. Because
Yeah.
at first he heard some rumbling. He's like he heard like some yelling behind the door, like, what the fuck do you want, some type of thing. And then he heard some stumbling. He's like, oh, this motherfucker's drunk. I'm not gonna fight him. I'm going to bed. But then Arn opened up the door, stabbed him. And apparently he stabbed him so deep in the gut he didn't feel it, type of thing. It was one of those you had to be told you were bleeding, and it was just fist fighting. And then he was like Too Cold Scorpio caught him, and he was like stabbing Arn with the scissors and stuff like that. And then he realized that Arn was so drunk. You don't want to fuck with Arn Anderson, especially drunk Arn Anderson. You know what I mean? He's like that uncle you hope stays in the corner at Christmas dinner. Sid said,
just drink your beers and leave us alone, brother.
Yeah, he took the scissors and he threw them down the hallway just so neither of them would like die, I guess you would say, type of thing.
Now I for some reason I remember that Sid had collapsed lungs. Was that due to that fight?
Probably. I heard it was pierced. I don't know if it actually collapsed, but
okay.
I don't know. That's all part of the legend too. You know what I mean? Vader claims that he grabbed Sid and he kept his finger in Sid's cheek so it wouldn't bleed. But Sid said that motherfucker was down in the lobby. He wasn't even near him, type of thing. So it's all part of there's this side of the story, that side of the story, then there's the truth. And
then there's cocaine involved too.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So we lost. That's a big loss.
Yeah, we lost the Samoans too this month.
Yeah, like
Alpha and Sika.
Yeah, within like 30 days of each other.
Mm-hmm.
Which they were pretty close, and in the same idea that when a husband and wife that have been married for so long pass away, one usually passes away quite soon afterwards. And I think that's just he probably had a little bit of a broken heart. Plus, they weren't young chickens. I think they were like 79 and 76.
Yeah. My dad loved them. They were before my time when they were, in their prime. But I remember Afa when he was the manager of the Head Shrinkers.
Okay.
Samu and Rikishi. So I remember him, and of course I've heard stories and I've seen the videos, and those were also two dudes I would not want to fuck with. You know what I mean?
No, that whole family I think you probably should stay away from.
Oh, especially you I know you've probably gone down the Haku rabbit hole.
Oh yeah,
Haku fights. One of my favorites. I just told my wife the other day because she was wanting to know who it was either Afa or Sika was, and I went on the whole spiel about how big the family is, and I said, yeah, they're related to The Rock, they're related to Nia Jax, Tonga Kid, and 600 other fucking wrestlers.
Got a couple of us to talk about it.
And I told him about Haku, who is, everyone says in a shoot fight, that's the one you want on their team. And I showed her, it was The Rock was on Jimmy Kimmel. And not Jimmy Kimmel. Yeah, Jimmy Kimmel, not Jimmy Fallon. They both suck. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And he was talking about, hey, I'm the son of Rocky Johnson, blah, blah, blah. And then he's my uncle, King Haku, and they're like, oh, I know King Haku, and they're talking about how his legendary says, he's like, you got a story? He says, yeah. There was one time in the hotel, my uncle was, it was after, a rough day at the office, and he's sitting at the bar having a few drinks, which is a problem because when Haku drinks, they always say he's a teddy bear until he starts drinking the liquor.
Right.
And he's there, he's eating his steak or whatever, and then some guy, shoves him from behind. You're not so tough, are you? Oh, leave me alone. I want to eat. And the first off is, why do they always pick on, like, why do the fans, because they didn't know the truth back then. Why did the assholes always have to go after Haku, the Barbarian, or Andre? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But he's shoving Haku, and Haku's like, no, leave me alone, leave me alone. You're not so tough, shoves him and going, leave me alone. And then he shoves him one more time, so Haku gets up, puts his knife and fork down, and he bites the dude's nose off. He spits it on the ground. And he goes back and starts eating the steak. So hospital's called, blah, blah, blah. Or the guy goes to the emergency room. The cops are called. Cop walks in. Are you Tonga Fafita? Yes. Did you have an altercation? Yes. Apparently you injured a man's nose? yeah, it's right over there. Put it on the floor type of thing. So he got arrested, but there's been times when I've heard he's gotten so drunk. They can't get the handcuffs on him because he's a wild man, and I'm not saying that in a racist term because he's from the islands. You know what I mean?
Right.
They said they even worked it into a Nitro storyline once. The mace didn't work on him. He shrugged it off. You know what I mean? Because he's just so volatile and so I don't want to say mean tempered, but like his blood's boiling so much when he's in a rage
when you
and
initiate
drunk.
the rage. When you initiate the rage, it's all over.
Like him and Barbarian. Why the fuck would you want to fuck with Andre?
Listen, I wouldn't fuck with any of them. I wouldn't fuck with any professional wrestler. Not even like the Babe Winkleman, whatever his name was.
Harvey Winkleman, yeah.
Harvey Winkleman. I wouldn't even fuck with him.
Yeah.
Because, if you fuck with him, you're going to fuck with the whole roster.
Yeah, but the thing is, Harvey, he probably had a knife on him.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I guarantee you, he had a knife or something.
Yeah, those southern wrestlers, they knew how to keep themselves safe.
Even the valets. I remember I was watching a shoot interview with Francine, and she was taught by Sabu, keep a knife in your purse, and she did.
Francine is amazing. I didn't really care for her character back in the ECW days, the early days. But she's grown on me, and now that she's out of the business, you can tell that she's just a decent human being.
She's cool as fuck, dude. I love watching her podcast on YouTube. She's so cool and down to earth. And you're right, you can tell she's a genuine good person because when Sonny, she got finally sent to fucking prison.
Yeah.
Francine was best friends with her. I think Sonny was at the wedding, which hopefully it was an open bar. But you could tell that Francine knew that Tammy dug her own grave, but she legit still felt sorry for her friend.
Yeah, yeah.
And what happened, with the whole situation.
It's interesting that you bring that point up because I was watching an interview with the dude that was the most recent Punisher, John Bernthal.
Barenthal.
He was doing an interview with someone, and I can't. Maybe it was Joe Rogan. Yes, I listen to Joe Rogan. Okay.
I do sometimes.
And he said something that was really kind of beautiful, poignant, and true. A friend should never desert someone because they've done something horrible. It's a friend's job to stick around and help that friend not do that mistake again, to not err again.
Mm-hmm.
And now, yeah, there's going to be limitations on that. If your friend killed someone purposely, maybe you cut ties. But he was really good friends with Shia LaBeouf, and Shia got into some trouble about. Well, and that'll segue into our next conversation with FKA Twigs.
Okay.
They were dating. They were a couple, and she came out and said that he was very abusive, mentally and physically. And John was like, I don't know how I can be friends with this guy anymore.
Right.
Because I have rules. If you touch a woman or a child, I'm done with you.
Yep.
But he said that he needed to talk to him.
Mm-hmm.
And Shia came clean and was very upfront with what he had done and seemed genuinely sorry about it.
Yeah.
Doesn't make it okay.
Right.
Obviously.
No.
But at least he was genuine in his
remorse.
Remorse, yeah. And that's when John said, you can't just cut ties with people just because they've done something bad. As a friend, you need to be there for them and to make sure that they don't do that again. Now, I don't know if I could be friends with Shia LaBeouf after if that was true. The alleged stuff.
Yeah, it's tough, man, because sometimes you got to, in my opinion, sometimes if they're repeat offenders, like constantly, you got to eventually just be like, okay, you made your bed, you shit in it, and now you got to lay in it.
And that's basically what Francine said when Sonny got sent to prison. She said, I think she actually said, that's not my friend that went to prison, though.
Yeah.
That's not the Sonny I was friends with. But I think she pretty much cut ties.
Yeah, and you know what? It's sad to say, but it'd be one thing if, sadly, Sonny was just getting high on the pills and getting drunk and getting arrested.
And hurting herself.
And hurting herself. But it was during the middle of the day, if not maybe the morning. She was, I don't know how much alcohol was in her system. I don't know if there was any drugs, but either way, she was driving while intoxicated, driving with a suspended license, and she rear-ended an old man and killed him.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's documented throughout the last 20 years of how big of a piece of shit she's been. It wasn't just this one thing that
There's just, she's petty is what it is the problem. I mean, and Jim Cornette defends her because she's like, well, at least she's an upfront cunt. That doesn't matter, dude.
Yeah.
Like, I was listening to it was an old episode of the Bruce Pritchard podcast, which is a really good podcast if you have like 2.5 hours to kill.
Yeah.
But she was the subject, and of course they talked about all the drugs and the porn and all this and that. But then they brought out that she had a book, and her banging Shawn Michaels, in Vince's office and all that's public knowledge. Everyone knows that. And they were just like, it kind of is what it is. Shawn was the golden boy. He was the champ, and Vince pretty much, he's not going to fire the world champion. You know what I mean?
And Vince isn't a good guy anyway. So.
Oh no, he was probably watching. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he was shitting on her back.
But the main thing, and I agree with this, is the reason why that Conrad has no ties to her. So he's like, yeah, she's a stupid, evil piece of crap.
Yeah.
And you could tell Bruce Pritchard he didn't want to say it because his brother Tom, remember Skip and Zip? His brother Tom was Zip. So he was really close to Chris. So, and again, so he also, he hated Sonny for always cheating on Chris and treating him like crap type of thing. But he also said, Chris, you're just a fucking idiot for staying with her for so long. But what really pissed and finally got Bruce to say that she's an evil human being is when she had that book out, and it shows how petty she is because eventually, Shawn broke it off with her, or no, what was it? She wanted to get married and have kids. Shawn wasn't ready type of thing. He broke it off type of thing. And then, of course, he hooked up with a Nitro girl, and now he's happily married to her, multiple children, all this and that.
Found Jesus.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Yeah. And I'm only 200 pounds. Her book is out. Shawn's been married for at least a decade and a half. He's got at least 2 children. And she releases a book, and it's and there's chapters and chapters dedicated to Shawn's favorite sex acts, the creepy shit he was into, all the drugs, and she didn't hold back. And Bruce was like, you didn't really have to release that after because he's a married man, and his kids could eventually read that type of stuff. So that's what
there's a mosquito trying to kill me. That's what I'm swinging at.
But yeah, he was like, he's like, yeah, she didn't have to release that stuff, like what Shawn was into. Like Shawn liked to bend her, like in the bathroom, bend her over the sink, go from behind, but make sure she had lipstick on, and she like Ronald McDonald, how it started at the lips and go all the way up to her nose type of thing. Because Shawn was into some freaky shit. And she told more stuff like in the book. Do you really need to say that after he's been out of the limelight and happily married and all that stuff? So
his kids don't need to know that shit.
Yeah, and so Bruce could tell she's just doing it because she's petty, jealous, and just not.
And they probably offered her a few more bones to get really fucked up in the book.
Yeah,
it was all for the crack cocaine and the.
Oh yeah,
it's a damn shame. Yeah, but so yeah. Blending it, so the FKA Twigs thing. So we'll jump into the Crow discussion now because
okay.
We both released reviews, pretty similar in scope of our findings. That was a decent movie. I mean, it was the second best Crow movie out of the franchise, I would say.
Maybe. I really like Salvation.
You do like Salvation?
With Kirsten Dunst, not because of her, but I remember really liking it. I haven't seen it in a long time, but it's top 3 regardless.
Yeah. But I wanted to talk about the fake hate because it's fake hate.
Yeah.
It's been proven so many times this week that there are people out there that just hated it to hate it for no reason. You had a comment on your review. Mm-hmm. The guy said, Eric, I want you to trash this review.
That was that was his first comment without even watching my video. I guarantee you.
Yeah, and he hasn't seen the movie either.
Right.
He said he's not going to see the movie, but he wants you to trash it.
Mm-hmm.
So, and he's not the only one.
No. And then this guy. See, here's the thing. I've already done a video, like you saw the previous video I did about all the hate that, just chill out and watch the movie type of thing. And then I went and I saw it and I watched it and I put up my video. And this guy literally, the comment was, I think I shared it with you, but it said something. I'm glad you enjoyed it, unless you're being sponsored.
Yeah, it was the same guy, wasn't it?
Yeah. So he's thinking the only reason, trust me, you saw the video. I said Danny Houston fucking sucked. I said I didn't like the final confrontation. There was that time jump twist that was confusing.
Yeah, and
the villains sucked. They weren't memorable. So I'm also saying the bad things in it too.
Right.
But
your reviews are always level though. Even if you love a movie, you always find something that you don't like. I don't think I've ever watched any of your reviews.
There's no perfect movie, dude.
Right.
You know me. The original Crow is my favorite movie of all time. There's some shit in that's pretty fucking stupid or doesn't hold up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think the first one personally, the only thing that I ever disliked about it is I felt that one lasted too long. That was what I liked about. That was one of the things I liked about this one. It didn't seem. I've been reading and watching a lot of reviews, and a lot of people say that it dragged, that it was slow, but I didn't feel like that. I thought it was I enjoyed it very much, based on how it was laid out. If that makes sense.
Yeah,
I didn't have any issue with that.
See, but it was just like, so I am giving praise to this movie. I really liked that we got to actually see the relationship between Eric and Shelley.
Yeah, me too. That was my favorite.
It was great. So we got to get to know them. I really liked Bill Skarsgård. I don't remember what you said, but I don't get why people saying they had zero chemistry. I thought they had good chemistry together. Him and Twigs.
Yeah,
I thought when they were first meeting each other, it was cute. Like, I love the scene where they're in the rehab center, they're watching the movie, and he's busy staring at her because she thinks she's pretty. And she just looks at him, just sticks her tongue out at him, and then goes back to watching the movie. That's cute shit. You know what I mean?
If you go and watch my review, that's exactly what I said. I said,
really?
That little scene where she turned around and stuck her tongue out, that's when I fell in love with them as a couple.
They're so cute together,
and
I love that. And
they came together at a time in the original movie. We're just told that they're this great couple. We don't know why they're this great couple.
The movie starts, they're already dead. We're at the crime scene.
What we're seeing is we're just basing it off of like a Facebook relationship. Oh, that looks so great. It must have been so great. We see all these memories. It's a Facebook memory. They must have loved each other so much. But we don't know what the relationship was really like. They could have been fighting all the time. We just saw some isolated good moments. In this movie, in this adaptation, they come together at the worst times of their lives.
Yeah, like she was on the run, and his mom was an alcoholic, and that he was obviously a drug user. Meth or something, because he's so fucking skinny, and the face tattoos are kind of a giveaway. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
they are.
I don't want to say too much, but most people don't get face tattoos. I mean, we're gonna piss off some people with that, but
I don't fucking care. But the thing is, I grew to love the relationship, and the fact that the guy literally thought I was sponsored to give some praise to this movie when I shit on it too. It just baffles me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's just like this. And then now you have Alex Proyas, the director of the first movie. He's sharing all these bad reviews online. I'm thinking to myself, I thought of today, because he's still doing it. He's now laughing basically at the fact, like, this money was a cash grab. Well, I guess it didn't grab so much money. Listen, you bald fat fuck. What have you done as a director in the last 15 years? Your last movie was Gods of Egypt, which I heard sucked, and it made a profit of $10 million. The one before that was I, Robot, which was fun, but how long ago was that? You did Dark City. You did Dark City, which is a cult following, has a cult following of a movie. And I'm sorry.
And really, The Crow, the original, is only a cult following movie as well. It didn't break.
Here's the thing, again, it's my favorite movie of all time. I understand a lot of attachment to it, but a lot of the attachment is just because somebody died making the movie.
Yeah.
That's why it has this big following. It's a bunch of fucking goth kids from the 90s or people who thought they saw a cool guy with clown makeup on a t-shirt that they bought at Hot Topic, and then they watched the film. Look, it's got a great soundtrack, great action, great love story, great acting, but there's problems with it. It's not the end-all be-all type of movie. You know what I mean? And the
Right.
thing is, hey, Alex, this movie may have bombed, but at least no one fucking died. You know what I mean? You're the director. All right. You're the director. It's your set. You should be responsible for everything that happened. John Landis was held accountable when they dropped a fucking helicopter on Vic Morrow and those two kids in Twilight Zone. Motherfucker, why isn't this guy at least going to court?
Just recently, Alex, say it again.
Proyas, the director?
No. The recent the killing on set for the
John Landis. Alec Baldwin.
Alec Baldwin, yeah, I couldn't think of his name. Alec Baldwin. I mean, that's a huge court case, right?
He was just found not guilty.
Yeah. So, but the director for The Crow, he was never held accountable for anything.
Nope. And here's the thing, like I keep telling people, first off, you got all these fucking morons saying, like, you could tell this subject has like been bugging me for like months.
We started fighting about it as soon as it was said that it was coming out.
Well, there's a difference, you know what I mean? But lots of times you and me fight, we're just fighting because we're bored. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
But you had all these dumb fucks saying Brandon Lee died for this movie. No, it was a tragic accident, you fucking moron. They're tarnishing Brandon Lee's legacy. Brandon might not have a legacy. He might still be alive making movies if the set of his own film was safe. And first off, his legacy, have you not seen the 3 fucking movies that came since?
I couldn't even name any of them.
You had City of Angels, which sucked. You had Salvation, which was fun. And then you had fat, bloated Edward Furlong as the Crow in Wicked Prayer. And they're shitting on this one.
Yeah, that's it's weird. Do you think he's just butthurt because he didn't get asked to direct this new version?
I think he's butthurt that someone's remade his movie, his only movie that people still talk about. No one talks about Dark City anymore. No one gives a shit about I, Robot because we all hate Will Smith now.
And you know what else they don't talk about? They don't talk about him either. When the Crow
he should be happy because people know he's still alive. At least you know what I mean.
Yeah.
God, but it's just like I was telling my friend, and it was more so I was just surprised. Like I've been doing YouTube for almost 10 years, and this is the first time. Like it's not the first time people like question, "Oh, you're just bullshitting. This movie really sucks," type of thing. But the fact that this is the first time someone actually thought I was being sponsored to say a good review, and I'm like, it's just. I'm at the point where like I'm kind of like regretting that I just put up that video because it's just annoying the piss out of me, as you can tell.
No, I don't think you should. I don't think you should regret it. I think it should be up there because it's one of the rare, honest reviews. Yeah. Because what I'm seeing, I don't know if you've been diving into any of the reviews that much, but you're either seeing like ridiculously glowing commentary about it, or just I'm pulling my pants and shitting on the whole goddamn thing. Yeah. And it's that this movie is not that. It's not great by any means.
No, God no.
But it's not the worst movie I've ever seen either. I've seen 5 or 6 worse movies this year alone.
Well, see, that's the thing. A lot of people saying it's the worst movie of the year. I haven't really seen that many movies in the theater this year. Alien Romulus, okay? This is nowhere near as good as Alien Romulus. But I heard Borderlands was garbage. I heard that movie Cuckoo was fucking stupid.
Yeah.
And I don't know anything else, but they're saying this is the worst movie of the year. Come on. They're saying this movie was boring. I guarantee you, this movie could have been total dog shit. But that whole scene where he's chopping up all those people during the opera, that was not boring.
No.
You know what I mean? Even if you didn't like the love story stuff, the action scenes of the fights are not boring.
No.
So people are just shitting on it because it's getting them clicks, it's getting them views.
They're getting paid.
Yeah. And the thing is, they're cheating. Like they're putting The Crow Sucks epic rant for like their fucking YouTube channel. That to me, that just reeks of desperation. And you know what? 9 times out of 10, these epic rants aren't epic. They just fucking suck.
No. Yeah, they're just they're carbon copied, reading people's tweets, retreading what someone else has said, because there's been very little original thought through this movie, the reviews that I've seen.
And it sucks because I'm now seeing like more stuff on like Facebook and Twitter of people that don't have like YouTube. You know what I mean? They're just saying, "Hey, The Crow wasn't that bad. Hey, I actually really liked it. Hey, this part was better," type of thing. It just sucks that now the damage has been done.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. This movie is not going to be. It's not going to make any money. And the thing is, here, hold on. Here it is. I went and saw this that Friday at like 4:15. I spent $7. It's worth a $7 matinee at the theater.
Yeah.
Come on, you fuckers have spent more on a lot worse.
Coffee. On a fucking coffee every day.
Terrifier 3 that's coming out that you can't put your boner away for, but you're going to shit on the fucking Crow movie. This is a killer clown that just literally chops people up. What's different this time? Ooh, he's dressed like fucking Santa Claus.
Yeah, is there really even a story in that series? I mean,
I saw the first one.
Why is he a clown, one? And why is he a killer clown?
The first movie I saw once, he kills people, somebody survives, and you find out he's an alien, I think. I don't fucking know.
Okay.
I think the second one, first off, the second one's 2.5 goddamn hours long.
What the fuck?
And it starts off with him. It starts off like right after the first one. So he's still covered in blood and everything. So he goes to a laundromat and gets butt ass naked and just washes his clothes because, it's, controversial and uncomfortable because a guy's standing around naked. It's cutting edge. And he's, killing children and playing with poop because he does that in the first one. And then, like, I got about an hour and 15 minutes in. I said,
how? Were you drunk?
I was drunk.
Okay.
And I was an hour and 15 minutes in. I said, I'm not drunk enough for this shit. And I already made an omelet. So you know how drunk I was when I saw it. I'm like, I still have a fucking hour left to go. And this is just fucking boring. So some of these people that are hating on The Crow, and I know some of these people are hating on this new Crow movie, they are fucking losing their minds because this Terrifier 3 movie is going to be so goddamn good.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
I don't either. I was just going to say something. I totally forgot what I was going to say.
If you want to watch a Killer Clown movie, look at my hat. Go watch Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
We're going to talk about your hat in a second, but here's what I'm going to say.
Okay.
We're making fun of the movie right now, but we're not going into people's tweets and saying, "No, this movie's dog shit."
No.
And that's what other people are doing with the Crow movie.
Yeah, see, what I'll do is if
someone asks.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. If someone is doing a post, whether it's on Facebook or X or whatever, and they're saying, I loved The Crow, I hated The Crow, your thoughts. Well, if you loved The Crow and I hated it, well, you opened up Pandora's box and I'm going to tell you how fucking much I hated it, or vice versa. But if you just say, I love this movie, blah, 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 I'm not going to say you're a fucking retard. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Because what's the point?
Unless it's like your friend.
To conversate about it.
Yeah.
And open up the conversation, yes.
It's like you and me. I'm always poking fun of you. Hey, I hope they remake The Karate Kid again.
Yeah.
I don't really want that to happen. I don't want you to get mad type of thing. But it's fun to poke the bear with your friends. There's a friend of mine who is obsessed with the Scream films. I could give two shits. He thinks one of the characters is coming back. I always tease him saying, no, it's not going to happen. Blah, blah, blah. It's me teasing my friend. But if I didn't know this guy,
you're not going to.
I'm not going to shit on his parade.
Right. Why? Why would you do that?
Exactly. It's not like I'm going to pay to see the fucking movie anyway. I'm going to wait 3 days until some guy in India takes his camera into the theater and uploads it to the internet.
Okay, it's crazy how good these bootleg movies are anymore online.
Really good, dude.
I watched. Okay, hopefully the FBI doesn't subscribe to my YouTube. But that's how I watched.
You trim the beard. You trim the beard. You're less suspicious looking.
If you see me next time, I'm just completely bald with no beard. I got a phone call. But I watched Deadpool and Wolverine via the World Wide Web, and dude, if you told me that it was a DVD copy, I would have fucking believed you.
That's when I went to. I've seen Deadpool and Wolverine twice. I watched it online the first time because I knew everything would be fucking spoiled. I'm pretty sure I watched the same copy you did, and then I went the following Saturday to see it on the big screen in better, HD or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, that one was really good. I mean, sometimes you get the real shit ones. Like, the guy literally stands up in front of the camera and walks away.
Or you get the crowd laughing and clapping.
Yeah.
But I kind of like that too, though, because I'm like, oh yeah, I'm sitting here with some friends.
Sometimes, but then I hate when that one motherfucker, like, because sometimes they got to throw the ads in there. You got that one motherfucker who's standing next to the blender, and he's throwing in all the coins and the poker chips and everything.
And they do it at the worst times too.
Yeah.
Like key moments of the movie.
And I'm watching on my laptop with the headphones, and the volume is like twice as loud when he shows up.
You jump and shit your pants. Yep. All right. So my question. I've been. I don't know if I've asked you this question before.
Okay.
But if I have, I was drunk, and we're gonna go over it again.
Sure.
You have what's like probably 50 hats, I think. And I want to know how you decide which hat you're gonna wear. And on video recording days, do you wear certain hats because, or is it just that you're wearing that hat that day?
It's usually whatever is on the floor by my bed. Because lots of times it doesn't matter. Like this, I'm wearing the Killer Clowns. I'm wearing because it's red on the brim, and I'm wearing the red shirt.
So you do try to match.
Sometimes. Other times I don't really give a shit.
Metrosexual motherfucker.
Oh no, not at all. but also it's like I'm also too fucking lazy to. When I'm done with you, to walk literally over to my door and hang it up. I'll just take it off and just throw it on the floor. And it's
funny because I have two
hats. I can see this hat. I'll grab this hat for Night Watch. I'll grab this hat for Mike tomorrow. Oh, it's Dennis. Dennis can have Killer Clowns. You know what I mean? It doesn't really fucking matter.
I think that's the most often worn hat in your videos is the Killer Clown hat.
Because right now, my laptop is on my bed. I'm this is, the wall. This is the side of the bed I'm laying on. Literally, I'm going to take it off. Throw it on the floor when I get home. So this chair I'm sitting on, my laptop's on the bed. This chair never moves. So when I sit down, it's right there.
Is there a video of you with no hat on your channel?
No. I'm bald as a motherfucker.
No, I was going to say you're probably a redhead, huh?
I go out in public with no hat on. I work with no hat on, but the internet's not ready for it yet.
Now, there's you could do something with this. Donations, get $1,000 donation, and you'll do a video without a hat.
Oh no. I got a car payment and rent. Wow, big fucking deal. That $1,000 is gone right away.
Give it to me, and then Eric will take the hat off.
Yeah, $1,000. Maybe I'll take my hat off if Dennis is also clean shaven.
I've had either the beard or goatee since I was 16 years old. So I haven't been clean shaven since I was 16.
I got the baby face.
I don't know what I look.
12, so
I don't know what I look like without this.
I'm just also fucking lazy too. I mean, I just told you the hat situation. So you think I give a shit about the hair on my face?
Yeah. Yep. Same. Plus, I don't know. I think I just look better with the full beard. I used to shave my head completely bald, and then 2020 happens, COVID happens, and I was just like, I'm gonna grow my hair out until things go back to normal.
A lot of people did that. Yeah,
and then I just never. No, I mean,
yeah,
I just never shaved or cut it. But I this past weekend. My youngest Lennon, she came up and it's very rare. She gave me a hug and then she was like,
hairball.
Well, and that's the other thing. They would watch me eat because the shit would get them. And same thing with my dad. My dad had a beard down to like his belly button, and as kids, it was embarrassing because when he'd eat, he'd have shit all over his beard. Yeah. And friends would be over and they'd be like, "What the fuck is that monster?"
It's like Peter Griffin when he grew the beard and he's got a bird's nest in it. He's feeding the baby bird worms through his beard. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was always embarrassed of that. And then lo and behold, If you just like watch me in my house, 3 to 4 times a day, you'll see me with like milk going, just hanging off my beard. But that's the life of a bachelor as well. You drink the milk from the carton, it goes all over the place.
Me, I've been married, God knows, I couldn't tell you how many years. I got 12-year-old at home. I've given up on life, so I don't give a shit what I look like.
Yeah, that as well, I guess. Yeah, that's fair. So any movies coming out in the future that you're looking forward to?
My daughter and I are gonna go see Beetlejuice in a couple weeks.
Okay, Beetlejuice.
Yep.
Were you a big fan of the original?
Oh, I love the original. I remember that could be the first movie I ever saw in theaters. I did see that with my parents. My daughter did enjoy the movie. So I think she says she's going to go see it with me, which would be kind of cool. My parents took me to the first one 30 years later, however long I'm taking my kid. Anything else? I could really give two fucking shits. I mean, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, or not Falcon and the Winter Soldier, but the new Captain America, that looks good, but that's not till next year.
Yeah.
Sonic the Hedgehog 3 looks like it's going to be fun. I'll take the kid, but that's not till December.
Yeah, the girls are looking forward to that one.
Yeah, after Beetlejuice, I don't even know what's coming out.
I was really looking forward to a movie called Greedy People. It's got.
I think I might have heard of it.
It's got Joseph. So bad with names.
Gordon-Levitt.
Yeah, Gordon-Levitt in it, and I saw the trailer and I was like, "This movie's gonna be fucking amazing." They showed you the best parts in the trailer. It was it was a comedy that was just too much. There was not enough comedy. Yeah. It was just So I might do a review on that this week sometime. But I was really looking forward to that one, and I can't think of anything that I'm remotely looking forward to now. There's the movie shit. It's so bad with names and shit.
Yeah. I couldn't tell you anything that's coming out after I saw Alien. So let's just, if you happen to have Alien come across your lap someday, the Alien Romulus movie, I do recommend that one. That one was really fucking good.
I may, like I said, I've told you though, I've never watched any of the Alien movies.
You don't have to. That's what's great about this one.
Okay, it's a standalone. I mean,
it could help if you've seen the first one because it takes place in between 1 and 2.
It takes place between 1 and 2. So maybe I'll sit down and watch 1 and 2 first then.
Yeah, but they explain enough that you don't need to even know what a fucking Alien movie is.
Okay.
So that's another thing I can appreciate about
it. Going back to The Crow, did you know that there was a series?
Yeah, Stairway to Heaven.
I don't know why I didn't know about that.
Here's the thing. Oh, great. You just made me think of something. They're shitting on Bill Skarsgård in this new movie because, it would have been okay if it was a different Crow. If it wasn't Eric Draven. Like, it's a big fucking difference. I personally don't give a shit. I would rather have an Eric Draven than whatever the fuck we got with Edward Furlong and Danny Trejo. You know what I mean?
And they never said his name was Eric Draven. They just said Eric.
Correct. I don't even know in the credits if they say Draven. But why aren't they shitting on the TV show? That is Eric Draven in the TV show.
And I only watched one episode of it. I watched one episode.
I haven't seen any. I have not seen a single episode. But why? Maybe it's because a lot of people don't know it exists. But the people that do know it exists, they're still not shitting on that because it was a good TV show. No, it wasn't. I guarantee it wasn't.
It was not a good TV show. I saw one episode. That's all I needed.
Now I get why they don't like that. This Eric, like Bill Skarsgård's a meth head. You know what I mean with the face tattoo. I get that. That's very jarring. I can understand that. But
if you really think about it, though, in the first one they're murdered, and we don't know why. I mean,
they were murdered because the gang, the people that murdered them, they owned the building that they were in, and Shelley went to them complaining about something, and they came in and they basically said, "Well, you fucked with the wrong people. We're gonna, rape and kill you and all that, all that bullshit." But and I get, like I said, it's jarring seeing what Bill Skarsgård looked compared to Brandon Lee. Brandon Lee looked fucking normal. Bill looks like a fucking crackhead. You know what I mean?
Brandon looks like a model, which kind of takes you out of it a little bit.
Yeah, he's too pretty to be in a dirty 1994, rock band.
Goth.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But why aren't they shitting on Crow Stairway to Heaven? Because that's Eric Draven, back from the dead, saving people week to week like he thought he was Bill Bixby. You know what I mean?
Right.
And the thing is, it was played by Mark Dacascos, who, if you know who he is, he's a very good martial artist. But he is in Kickboxer 5.
Okay.
He's in Double Dragon.
Okay.
With Scott Wolf.
I think I saw that one.
Okay. And he's more known now as being one of the hosts of Iron Chef.
That's where, okay.
Yes.
He's usually
clean. I think he's clean shaven on the head when he's the host, but he's the one that makes the karate chop and gives them the secret ingredient and stuff like that. But you're just going to let that TV show slide?
It's convenient, right?
Yeah.
The other thing, going back to the 2024 version, what I also really liked about this iteration of the Crow is he's kind of a pussy at first.
Yes, he can't fucking fight.
And as it goes on, and the Crow becomes more in him, only then does he become this superhero like fighter. But beforehand, he's kind of a pussy.
Oh yeah, he gets the
a weak little pussy, and I like that.
He's getting picked on by the inmates at the fucking rehab facility.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yep.
And he can't fight worth a damn. He gets lucky when he gets full Crow superpowers and he becomes this fucking samurai. Okay, that's when I started rolling my eyes. I'm not gonna lie. I'm like, okay, this is kind of fucking dumb. But I went with it because he's chopping people up. I didn't care by then.
I mean, some of the kills were brutal. The sword in the mouth, I looked away, and then the curb stomp.
Yeah, when he broke the guy's neck.
Yeah, I had to get up and walk around for a minute.
The part that got me was, and everyone was saying this is a John Wick type movie. I've never seen a John Wick film. I know what it's like, gun kata and all that bullshit.
Yeah,
maybe Samurai Fu, as Joe Bob would say in the end of it. But that scene where he's fighting in the car, that fight scene in the car is maybe a minute, and he doesn't do anything special. He gets thrown out of the car and run over by a fucking semi. And then when he stands up with the compound fracture in the leg and he has to fix it, that got me.
Yeah, I'm not good with stuff like that at all.
No.
But the one thing that I will disagree with you on is the bad guy. I thought was really cool.
Really?
Yeah, because there was a shroud of mystery towards him. You really don't know a whole lot about him. You don't know. I don't know if they really delved into how he got his power. I know that he took it. I think
there's like a drop line or something by Eric's mystical guide, whatever.
Yeah.
Excuse me. His mystical guide basically says he sold his soul to the devil for success. Something simple like that. Whatever. It's kind of a movie. I allowed it.
And I just like the mystery of what he's saying to these people, that they feel so crazed about it that they unalive themselves.
Yeah.
And I feel as if this is going to be someone who pops back up in a movie. I think you could get a movie out of this guy.
Probably. I just wish I just don't think I mean, I understand what you're saying about the mystery, but to me, he just kind of sat in a chair and then just stared at the camera for a lot of the movie. And I'm just like, he didn't seem like a big bad guy to me. That was my thing. But then again, it was also,
do you think we didn't get much of him because they were expecting this to do better and that there would be a second movie?
Well, they did change the ending according to Bill Skarsgård, which he's saying he kind of wished they didn't. And it's just a line that Bill says. He says something like, "My soul will be at rest," because Shelley, brought back to life with the Back to the Future Part 2 alternate timeline bullshit.
Yep. Yeah, which I didn't even catch that part of it when I watched it. Yeah. But when you said it in your review, I was like, wait a second.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is that?
She has to be brought back to life like right after.
Yeah.
Or else she's been dead for at least a week, you think? You know what I mean?
Yeah. So
and they had because they also had the funeral, because her mom's at the funeral. And because Eric sees her in the limousine, remember?
So because he killed that guy, did it alter time? Like erased pictures and all that shit because of the time change?
The way I'm looking at it, and this is just me putting two and two together to try to make it work. Since he is able to because what the guy said, his mystical advisor or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
You're able to bring both each other back to life, if you put the wrong things right, as long as your love is pure.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Eric watches that videotape on the phone, doubts Shelly, and that's where the guy's like, okay, yeah, fucked up.
You fucked up, bro.
She's in hell forever or whatever.
We thought you guys were the real deal.
Yeah, thanks a lot. You done fucked up, Bill. But
I put myself on the line for you.
And then he said, I have Alex Proyas, talking shit about me, Bill.
And you do this to me? You shit on my bed?
But Eric says, my soul for hers, blah, blah, blah. So puts the wrong things right, kills all the bad guys. Back to the Future 2 after, they had their last goodbye. So I think,
somehow it's Elizabeth Shue now and not the other girl.
That's okay because Elizabeth Shue still looks like Elizabeth Shue and the other chick looks like a pufferfish.
With a really bad wig.
Yeah. So they're back in time. They have to be because or else, Shelley's already dead and buried. So it's probably at least been a week or so because, funeral wise. And I think she's back where she needs to be because the head paramedic is Mr. Spiritual Advisor.
Yep.
And he's kind of she probably knows what happened.
Wait a second here. I didn't even think about this.
Okay.
That spiritual guide, how did he get there? He took Eric's spots. He fucked Eric over.
No, he took the almanac back to 1955. Well, I think that's his way of letting her know that things are going to be all right. But I also think that
he's going to be her watcher now.
Pretty much, he can still see her in the afterlife because she's now a musician, a singer type of thing. But I think everyone who died did die. They're in purgatory. No one's going to fucking miss them. And then now she can live her life moving forward from the moment she had the bag put over her head.
Right.
Eric's still dead. The only question I have is her mom still alive? Because Danny Houston whispered stuff into her ear, and she jumped out of the window. So,
I think she's probably still dead because she was part of the lineage where her daughter had died. So how would it be explained that she came back?
Right.
To hurt the mom. But
maybe mom's missing and in purgatory too. Or there's a funeral or some bullshit. I don't know.
Yeah. And now that watcher's I'm going to call him a watcher now. He's going to watch her, and and this will be Eric says something about until.
He's walking away and he says my soul is at rest, and then for now. And apparently the movie ended with him saying my soul is at rest, and the director made him say for now, just in case. He sold his soul to the devil like Danny Houston, and this made some money. We would have a sequel. It's not going to happen.
But here's what I said in my review.
What's up?
It's gonna blow up on streaming. It's gonna find a second life in streaming, and one of the streamers are gonna buy the rights to it and make a second movie.
You think so?
Yeah, I think so.
We won't get Bill Skarsgård though, which is disappointing. I guarantee he won't do it. I don't think he will.
Watching the interviews, I watched the interviews with him and Twigs.
They are so cute together, dude.
And I think they genuinely have a really nice friendship outside of the movie. Even the director said on the first day of shooting, he and Twigs were going around smoking and kissing. Probably practicing. Getting. But I think if that relationship is that tight and the money's right, I think you could see a second one.
You know what? Maybe they could if it won't be theatrical though.
No. It'll go straight.
It'll go straight to like Paramount Plus or whoever owns the rights type of thing. But
they might be fueled by a little bit of, you know what? We're gonna make a really fucking great second movie. Yeah. Fuck you guys.
I would love for that, man, because I'm also, the night after I got home and, I did my short because I wanted to wait a couple of days, let it process, you know what I mean?
Sure, yeah.
Think about this stuff, especially because of how much I enjoyed the original. But I didn't watch anyone else's reviews other than my buddies, you know what I mean? But I'm also watching, a lot of interviews with Bill and Twigs, just talking about the movies. And then, there's those movies where they're like, hey, what's Bill's favorite candy? And then Twig says, what's one of your favorite music groups or some bullshit? They're sitting together just answering fan questions. They're so sweet with each other.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
you can tell that they really formed a close bond.
Yeah, they really care about one another. They like. I don't know if anyone's dating or married or anything, but you could tell that they probably could have a relationship.
You know what I mean? Yeah, for sure.
And it would be really cute, and they would generally care for each other. But you got those fucking chuds who just had to shit on this movie before it even came out, and that's just, it's the name of the game.
And it's not the first time this has happened. There's been other movies.
No. Dude, I'm in the horror community. Come on, they shit on every fucking remake. And then years later,
it's just not movies anymore either. It's everything. It's sports. It's music. Everybody just wants to shit on everything. Deadpool, dude. His wife.
Ryan Reynolds.
Ryan Reynolds' wife, Blake Lively.
Yeah.
Okay. America has this goddamn fucking obsession with building people up, and then when they get to the peak, to the top, they just shit on them and break them down. That's what we do anymore. That's all we do. Every person that ascends to any kind of success better hold their ass, because they're going to get pulled down. And now they're trying to pull her down because she was shitty to some fucking movie interviewer.
She wasn't shitty to her. She just said something about like she's showing a baby bump or something like that. That's it.
She was probably fucking joking.
Yeah,
she didn't say, "Hey, Ryan Reynolds."
She didn't say, "Hey, Tubby, have a burger." You know what I mean? Anything like that.
But because her husband had success, and her movie opened up number 2 to his success.
Yeah.
And they're the super couple right now.
Yeah.
We're gonna fucking bring her down because we don't got anything else to do.
Yeah.
It's just a fucking sad world.
Bring someone down that deserves it, like Jojo Siwa. You know what I mean? Leave Blake Lively alone.
Jojo Siwa's gonna bring herself down. Oh. My God. And Lenny, my youngest one, she was obsessed with Jojo Siwa when she was younger. Thankfully,
she didn't know any better.
Well, yeah. Thankfully, she's moved on to other things.
Yeah.
But yeah, Jojo Siwa, god damn, you lose brain cells just watching.
I know. You're watching her dance, or have a seizure, or whatever it's called.
Seizing, her choreographed seizing.
Yeah, where she's flopping her legs and he's got her hand on her head like it's a fucking elephant trunk, or. And
she's popular. Why?
Because
she was on a
stupid
TV show.
You know what's in my like in my Instagram feed? It's fucking mukbangers again. And what it is, like,
because you gotta stop saying mukbang.
Well, it's either the mukbangs where it's literally just people like eating food and going like, why would you? What do you really get a? Do you get
so fucking weird?
Do you really get a boner just hearing someone slurp like a chicken? Like a piece of chicken off the bone. But then you have these really dumb fucks. Like you have this one guy who says something. He's like, he's got a chicken drumstick, and he's like putting mustard or ketchup or whatever he thinks on it. He's eating it like, it's a corn on the cob, like a typewriter type. And then he sticks the bone in his mouth and like cracks the bone and eats that and does a little stupid dance. People love that. You have this other jerk off who I know for a fact is not special. Okay, I have a 1 R word limit on this show just so you don't get flagged. He acts like that, like he's literally making noises and licking his lips and pouring shit all over his food and twitching and stuff like that. So he's kind of offensive, to people that are like that. Is it
the avocado guy?
No, that's just some fat idiot. This guy is very skinny, very very black. And he it kind of it kind of makes me mad because there are people that kind of twitch that aren't right there, and the fact that he's not like that because he's posted other videos of him sitting at a table
just being
eating
fine.
Food, just being fine. I hate those fuckers. And then you have this one kid, his name's Daniel, and he always shows up in his kitchen, and he talks like he's got a speech impediment. He says, we're going to make this today. And he throws the food at the camera, and he talks like he's got a huge lisp, and he's very high pitched. Well, guess what? I've seen behind the scenes stuff of him, and he talks like us.
Yeah.
And I get it's a gimmick, but I don't get why this is funny.
It's not a
So
funny
what I'll
gimmick.
do is every time those videos come, I know why they're in my feed, because every time those fuckers show up, I literally type "I hate you," send, and that's it.
And the algorithm says he loves them.
I know. I don't. I mean, we all like comedy. Is subjective.
Sure.
Some people like funny dialogue. Some people like farts. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It is what it is. But like that Chick-fil-A sauce girl. You know what I mean? When she's behind the counter and someone asks, do you have any barbecue sauce? She does bug eyes like right into the camera. How is that funny?
Right.
How is that funny? It's just her looking like a moron and then asking for, you don't want Chick-fil-A sauce. I don't get it.
But
that's why Jojo Siwa is popular. That's why Jojo is popular.
What annoys me about the Chick-fil-A girl, though, is this. She wasn't trying to become viral. She was trying to bust up her sister. And somehow it got online and it went viral. And now she's something big. Whereas, you and I, we put these videos out because we want people to watch them. And we can't get fucking people to watch our shit.
No.
But someone does a stupid thing for no reason. And now they're viral and they're getting sponsorships and all this shit.
It's because of that the dumbass sister of Chick-fil-A girl posted it online. And
I hate her the most.
I do. And that's why
Chick-fil-A's coming out with a streaming service. Did you hear that shit?
That's why my Instagram fucking feed is fucked up. No one watches us. Maybe we should. You know what we need to do?
Go into public and make stupid faces.
Well, we can do that normally.
Born to do that.
Next episode, you heard it right here, folks. Next episode, whether Dennis likes it or not, we're doing a Chick-fil-A mukbang.
I don't even have a Chick-fil-A here. I can't do that.
You better find one. We're doing a Chick-fil-A mukbang, and Jojo Siwa will be playing in the background.
No, I can't pay for that. I can't get the copyright on that.
It'll get your views somehow. Well, then you know what? We'll just have her, like, you do a green screen behind you, and just have her doing that little elephant dance. That'll bring them in the kids, right?
My computer has 4 gig of RAM. You think I can put a green screen on this motherfucker?
You want the views or not?
Yes.
All right.
I'm going to crash my computer.
Sacrifices have to be made, Dennis. Come on.
Next podcast, I'll be streaming from my phone.
And that's when you lose internet.
Yeah, I can't pay for phone service. All right, Eric. Well, it's been fun. It's been another fun hour.
Yeah, always is.
Always is. Rest in peace, Sid.
Yes.
The Crow, 2024. Better movie than it's getting reviewed as. Last time I checked Rotten Tomatoes, it was at 20%. Lowest.
That's disappointing, man.
Do you put any stock in Rotten Tomatoes?
No, because they're either professional critics who are paid to be critical, but you could have also online critics that mean jack shit. So. Yeah.
So in my review, I actually scrolled through Rotten Tomatoes and read some reviews while I did the review, and in 2 reviews from 2 different people, the first review said, "These actors had no chemistry. The romance was not there." The next one, "I loved their love story." And that tells you exactly what movie reviews really are. Yeah. They're fucking dumb.
Yeah.
Why do we do them? Because we love movies. We enjoy movies. We enjoy talking about them. But at the end of the day, what I think of that movie, what you think of that movie, it doesn't fucking matter. Nope. Go watch the movie and make up the decision yourself. But stop shitting on shit that you don't consume. You can't consume something that you didn't eat. Right. Or you can't. That didn't make any sense.
I know.
Of course
you can't shit on anything
if you didn't eat it.
If you don't consume it, you can't shit it out and then shit on it.
Right. That's where I was going with it.
Jojo Siwa, yeah.
Yeah, Jojo Siwa. I got Jojo Siwa brain right now.
My
ponytail's too tight and it's killing my brain. All right. Well, that's another podcast in the books. Another fun hour of me and Eric saying things that nobody else will because they're chick shit motherfuckers.
I can't wait to see what the title of this one is.
It's called "You Guys Are Chicken Shit Motherfuckers. Watch The Crow."
I hope it is.
I will. That's what it is.
All right.
All right. All right, everyone.
Christ.
It'll probably get flagged on every podcast.
No, not necessarily. Just put like some asterisks and stuff.
Oh yeah, I got to get creative with it.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, instead of the U in the word fuck, then put F star K.
What if the title is this? Jojo Siwa says you guys are stupid motherfuckers and you should watch The Crow.
And if you put a picture of Jojo Siwa in crow makeup, as the thumbnail, you're gonna at least get 10 views, Dennis.
Almost worth all the work. I'm gonna do it.
I guarantee you that someone's put her in crow makeup, but you just gotta Google it and be patient. Go like page 6 or 7 on Google and find it.
Someone has a really, really weird kink of Jojo Siwa in crow makeup. So
if anyone's listening to this, if you can get Dennis a picture of Jojo Siwa in crow makeup, he will do a mukbang for you.
I'll do an Ice Cube mukbang for you.
Hey, you didn't have to say what you were eating.
I'll do a water mukbang. My doctor would like it.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna stop recording. You guys have a good night. We will
Cheers.
talk to you guys again sometime.
Yeah, maybe.